YouTube Shorts live feature and just play around with it on a Saturday morning. There's been a hot topic this week, and that is Carlos Tavares is out at Stellantis. And, he had announced that he was going to retire at the end of his contract, I think all the way out into 2026. And then all of a sudden, in the past week or so, just came out flat out and was gone. And it sounded like there was some disagreement on the board based on the latest sales numbers and the direction of the company. And for us Jeep owners, for those of you out there who drive Ram trucks, maybe even a Chrysler minivan, but the whole portfolio, you got to be wondering, well, what's next for the brand? And this sure is an interesting question, and it's not one that I'm going to dive that deep into today. We'll probably save that for a full-length podcast. Casey, I'll bring Casey in and we'll actually talk about it. But the short of it, I think the problems that Stellantis ran into, particularly in North America, is that they were basically bleeding Jeep and Ram dry, relying on them as a profit center for the transition to full EVs, particularly throughout the rest of the portfolio in Europe. And, a lot of companies have done that. You've seen Ford in North America get rid of cars and get rid of less profitable models because they're trying to preserve cash and they're trying to build a bridge to the transition to EVs. And most of their pure EV products are coming out in the future. General Motors did the same thing, but they were quicker to push more EV product into the marketplace, all the way back with the Bolt, which, for all of its pluses and minuses, was actually a really good car for an early EV, a non-Tesla EV. Probably doesn't get the credit that it deserves. But Stellantis really only had one EV in the portfolio, particularly in the Jeep portfolio, and that was sold in Europe. And so, here in North America, they were relying on some hybrids, plug-in hybrids like the 4xe that we have, the Wrangler. We do love it. But even those products just got really stagnant. They haven't made any significant updates to the 4xe platform now in 3 model years, promising new changes for 2025, but we haven't seen it. And we haven't seen the pure battery electric vehicles either. And that's a problem. Everything is slow. And they've got a bunch of cool product coming. They've shown us the Charger, which is supposedly inbound to dealers. They've shown us the Jeep Wagoneer S, which is a compelling EV just because of the capability it brings. It's sporty. It's an 800-volt architecture. It's going to charge fast. It's got really good infotainment. But we don't know how good it's going to be because it's not here yet and nobody's driving it. We've been talking a lot about Ram Charger and even the Ram Rev. Those are all delayed. And so, while the other companies have financed their transition, they've also delivered some products, and Jeep hasn't delivered those products, Jeep or Ram. Everything, like I said, everything's late. And I think that's just finally catching up to folks like Tavares, and that's the reason he's sent packing, is they didn't move fast enough, whether that was because they didn't have the manufacturing resources in place, that they didn't iron out all of the design elements, or the market started changing behind them. That's really for them to answer. But the reality is, didn't move fast enough. We're still sitting here waiting, and the existing product portfolio for Jeep and Ram has just been allowed to languish in the marketplace. Now, and like I said, I'd love to have a conversation with Casey in this in more of a long podcast form, but I do have some hot sports opinions on Jeep in particular. I think Jeep has become a one-product brand with Wrangler. I think they really fumbled the Jeep Grand Cherokee update. I think they fumbled the Wagoneer. These are products that wear a Jeep name, but they don't arrive on the marketplace with the kind of capability that upholds the brand image. And, the old Jeep Grand Cherokee, for instance, WK platform, at least you could get it in a Trailhawk with some decent capability, decent, approach angle and departure angles on it. It was still a suburban assault vehicle, let's be honest, but it was up to the task. The new Grand Cherokee is just not. Even in Trailhawk form, people are taking these things off and they're tearing them up off-road. And, there's just too much plastic up front. The nose sticks out too far. Same thing in the rear. It's a larger vehicle. It's a nice vehicle, but it's not a Jeep. And, the Wagoneer, the same thing. It's a very large SUV, and it didn't come to market with a substantial off-road trim and package, right? So, unlike some of the trimmer packages or that you may get on Explorer, Expedition, or AT4 and AT4X from GMC on their large platforms, Jeep didn't do that. These are, chromed out, nice luxury vehicles. And there's nothing around the Wrangler in the product portfolio that upholds the brand image. And so I think, the Wrangler sales, while they're not horrible, they've certainly started to drop off. And, Jeep's got a lot of work to do. They need to bring back Cherokee. They need to rethink Grand Cherokee. They need to put things around the Jeep Wrangler, and they also need to improve it, but they need to build around it so that people have a reason to show up on the dealers and find the Jeep that works for them. Now, on the Ram side, Ram is the truck brand. They got some really compelling products. Rams are known for really nice features and really nice luxury. You can, even at the top end, get some really performance-oriented Ram trucks. And, they ask a lot of money for them, but people seem to be willing to pony up the money for those if they can find one that meets their needs. Can't wait for Ram Charger. Can't wait for Rev. They've got to get here sooner rather than later. We're still hearing first quarter, or I guess first half of 2025 now. But that's it. That's just some quick thoughts on Carlos Tavares being out at Stellantis and what we need to see from Jeep and Ram. But we'll have more later. And again, just wanted to try out this format, the YouTube Shorts Live. And oh, by the way, new hats are in, and they actually look really good. So check them out. Some nice trucker style hats, and logo came out really nice. And those are down below. If you want to say thanks for the content, and definitely appreciate all you guys that have subscribed here lately to the channel. And we'll be back. Talk to you later.